Hey guys, it's time to make dinner. I'm gonna go through a little prep here together just because I myself want to be fair to everybody, because I know it's just now 5 o'clock and a lot of people are just getting off work and you may not have had time to do prep. So we're gonna prep together for some of the stuff. I already have my chicken ready to go, but otherwise gonna go ahead and start with the broccoli and stuff like that. Just get everything prepped and ready to go, everything measured out, so don't mind the little bit of noise. And yeah, I got my broccoli at Sam's, 2 pounds of it. I think it was like $4. You can't really go wrong with that. Usually I try to avoid plastic as much as possible, but yeah, they'll probably use at least that much plastic wrapping heads of broccoli anyway. So we'll just get our broccoli into small bite-sized pieces, the size you would want to be eating yourself. Nothing too big, but make sure you leave the stalk on. This is your flavor points right here, guys. This is the good stuff. So be sure to leave that on as well. Do a nice cleanup of everything, because yeah, you never know where it came from. Even if it's in a bag, always clean your fruits and vegetables, people. Always. Oh. Okay. And then after this, we're gonna go ahead and get our rice started, because I'm using a rice cooker for mine, but regardless of however you're doing it, whether it's with the rice cooker or stovetop, you're gonna wanna go ahead and get it started. Now remember, broccoli doesn't shrink up a lot when you cook it, so make it reasonable size pieces. You don't want to choke on broccoli tonight. You're working too hard for this. A little messy. It's all right. Okay. I didn't really measure, so I might not use all of what I cleaned. And this may be a little bit more chaotic than Sunday was. If you were on Sunday, you know, had a little bit of peace happening in my life. My house was nice and quiet and under control. It's not that way tonight, so you might hear some birds, you might hear some dogs, you might hear both, as you can hear already. So, yeah, that's life. That's the authenticity of this. Just because my kid's not at home anymore doesn't mean I have my own chaos happening, trust me. Right. A couple more pieces of broccoli here, because I love broccoli. And we'll move on to our rice. Okay. So like our vegetables, you always rinse your rice. So let's measure it out. I always do 1 cup of rice, because that's more than sufficient for us. So just make sure you rinse it well. You want the water to run clear. Otherwise, you're going to have very starchy rice. Like I said, mine's going in the rice cooker. Just because Des turned me on to that, and it's a beautiful thing. I love it. All right. Now, you can always do just straight water, but I like to add a little flavor into my water that's cooking my rice, because, yes, flavor points. You want to layer the flavors in there. Get them deep. Add a little bit of butter if you want, or oil. So we are going to do 1 3/4 cup of water for our 1 cup of rice. Your well rinsed rice. And if you want to swap this out for broth, that's fantastic, for part broth or a little bouillon. Whatever it is, I love bouillon. And so that's what I will be using. Just add it right in there. It'll dissolve and cook with the rice. Okay. I try to keep bouillon on hand. I'm actually going to add a little sesame oil to this. Because it is going to be some fried rice after all. Okay. So go ahead and get your rice started. You're going to need that for your fried rice. Okay. Want to heat up your pan? I'm using this ginormous cast iron that I just absolutely adore. When I first got it, I was like, wow, that seems like excessive overkill. It's kind of big, isn't it? No, you'd be surprised how much I use it. I lately have been using frozen onions just because I've not had good luck at the store. I've cut into more than my fair share of onions recently that have not been good. So I have resorted to using frozen onions. Okay. So let's make sure our mushrooms are chopped if they haven't been yet. So clean those bad boys up. Give them some nice thick cuts. You don't want them too thin because they'll cook down to nothing in no time. You want them to be nice and meaty. And remember, when you heat up your pan, do it empty. Don't put any oil or anything in that yet. Let it heat up without anything. Otherwise, you'll just burn your oil or your grease or your butter, whatever greatness you're using to lube up your pan. Wait until your pan's hot. So I'm going to do these like just nice, thick, chunky pieces. Just a little closer so you can see. I'm try not to put my plastic cutting board on the stovetop because, well, if you know me, you know it's just not a good idea. I will forget and turn something on. And this video will take a drastic turn. Not in a good way. Okay. Got that ready to go. Got our onions. Okay, while we're waiting on our pan to heat up, we're going to start our sauce for the chicken. So, we're going to get this beautiful, rich stock. I make mine first. That bouillon coming back again. Okay. Actually, let's put this in a bowl for now. Okay. We have our 2/3 cup. Look at that rich. That's how your broth and bouillon should look. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of soy sauce or tamari sauce. I have and use both. We're going to use what's left of this soy sauce first. 2, 3 tablespoons. As you can see, this time I was not prepared. Okay, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Should be putting our spoon out real nice, or that will make for some funkiness next time. Okay. So we got our 2 tablespoons of brown sugar going in here. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to teach you a very, very useful tip when it comes to cornstarch. You'll thank me for this if you don't already know. Never just go dumping cornstarch into anything. You want to dissolve it into a slurry first. So we are going to take our 1 tablespoon of cornstarch in a separate bowl. We're going to take just a little bit of this sauce that we're mixing up. So we're going to mix this up so there's no more clumps, and as you can see, our pan is starting to smoke, so that's nice and hot. Okay, so nice hot pan. I'm gonna put a little oil in there. We're gonna toss our chicken in. That's the sizzle you want. The chicken has not already been seasoned. We're gonna do that. So salt. And let that cook. I'm gonna hop back over here. I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon of sesame oil into our mixture. There we go. 1 teaspoon of ginger. I love this ginger paste. I'm doing most grocery stores. I get mine at Aldi. 1 teaspoon of lemongrass, cilantro. A lot of stuff that just doesn't last too long, but it's a pain. That taste is beautiful for us. So we're going to get some garlic. You can use minced garlic if that's what you have on hand or you prefer. Totally up to you. I love cutting my own because it just brings a whole different flavor. Recipe calls for 2. I go with 3 because it's garlic. And you measure garlic with your heart and a drunk heavy hand. You do the same thing with vanilla. Okay. We got garlic. Chicken a nice stir. Add your slurry into your mix. You get whatever might be left in the bottom of your bowl. Now, if you're just getting on, make sure that you get your rice started right away if you haven't already. You're going to want that to cook while everything else is cooking. Not going to use the cornstarch anymore. Want to get your eggs out for your fried rice, so then ready and handy, go ahead and do that. Chicken is cooking up beautifully. A little salt, a little sesame oil in the pan. In between, because who wants to spend the entire time after the belly full of deliciousness cleaning up? Another one onions. Maybe use for both. Don't need the ginger anymore. You can put that away. Chicken should be almost done, depending on the size that you made it. Trying to keep them good bite-sized pieces. Right? Mix that up too. While we're waiting on the chicken to cook, make sure we have everything ready for our fried rice. We can throw it all together. So you're going to need your soy sauce for that. This fried rice is one of those recipes that I've made it so many times. I don't even look at the recipe anymore. I just wing it now because I do like that. It's one of those recipes that goes with so many dishes. Just put memorize it really well. All right. Beautiful, beautiful chicken. We're just about done. Try to throw in a couple big pieces that I can cut into to gauge how good we are. Golden, my friends. We are golden. Okay, so we're going to take the chicken out, set it to the side for now. Take this beautifully hot pan. It's just going. All the flavor in there. Throw our onions in. If you have sliced onions, throw those in. The rest of these onions will go in the fried rice. I have chunks of onion because what happens in the freezer. It does cook down a little bit. There are mushrooms in here in a moment. We're using fresh onions. Just want them to start getting some color on them. Brush it around the pan, get all that flavor from the chicken that cooks. Get it on those onions. Throw these mushrooms in here. And throw our garlic in there. I'll say again, these ramekins, they're amazing. I have them in different sizes. They're wonderful for measuring things out, making your life easier. Okay, I'll let that cook down for a minute. Now, let's make sure our rice is going good here. Now let's see here, for our fried rice, we're going to need some soy sauce. We need some sesame oil for the pan. I use my good old trusty non-stick pan because we're going to, scramble some eggs in there. So if you want to actually do that ahead of time, feel free to throw them in the bowl, get them scrambled up, so you'll be ready to throw those in when they're ready. And get your vegetables out. Which I honestly freaked out because I came home from Publix earlier. I didn't find this in my freezer. Thought I was going to have to go back. Because how do you really improvise for that? You don't. But luckily, there it was. Deep in the back. Alright, that's going to cook down. Next we're going to throw our broccoli in. So our broccoli has not been cooked, so we're going to rely on it to cook in here. You don't want your broccoli to turn to mush though, because mushy broccoli is just not delicious, okay? I don't care who you are. Maybe a baby likes mushy broccoli, but I don't even think they like it. So no mushy broccoli, that's the rule. So your mushrooms should be releasing their juices, deglazing your pan if there wasn't a lot of oil in it left over from the chicken. All that flavor. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared. All right. We've got broccoli. So let's mix this broccoli in to get that said flavor juice on it. We're just going to let it cook down in this pan for a minute with the onions and the garlic and the mushrooms. Let it do its thing. This is uncooked, so remember, you don't want it turned into mush. So let it do its thing. Sesame oil. Go ahead and scramble your eggs for your fried rice. Another great use for those ramekins. Stir. See, some of it's getting that deep, beautiful green. Means it's starting to soften up a little bit. Just exactly what we want. Okay. Let's go ahead and measure this out because I honestly don't remember how much. Vegetables we need. Half a cup of your peas and carrots. If you measure like I do, everything's always a little over, so this is going to be basically a cup. And set it aside. Your broccoli should be turning mostly that deep, dark green, which is what you want. Beautiful. Feel free to talk to your food, encourage it. Check on your rice. Rice should be coming up ready soon, so we're gonna get that other pan going in a minute. Smaller the bowl, the harder it is to whisk in. Go figure. I love eggs in my scrambled eggs in my fried rice. Like, it's probably one of my favorite things in there. So I go a little extra, 3, 4 eggs, because yeah, my favorite. All right, go ahead and heat up your pan for your fried rice. Gonna go on nice medium, somewhere between a 4 and a 6. It's a good number usually. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. We're gonna let that cook because I don't want to put this sauce in just yet until we get closer with our fried rice. So actually what we can do, since you already have a hot burner, do a nice little switch over. We'll just keep this on a nice low. Just staying warm. Getting to know each other. Becoming friends. All those flavors. Yes. Okay. So this is going to warm up. I'm going to flip the handle out of the way so I don't fling it onto myself. Remember, if you're heating up your naked pan, do not add your lubricant to it yet. Let it heat up. That's where we're going to get our other vegetables. The base of our fried rice going. Put our stuff away now. If your rice is already done, make sure you've taken it off the heat and it's kind of just setting to the side, hanging out, getting ready to get fried. I'm not gonna need it just yet, but soon. See how nicely that heats up? It heats up so much quicker when your burner's hot. Sesame oil your pan. Let it heat for a second. Now you have to keep an eye on sesame oil once you throw it in your pan. It'll burn, it'll start smoking, it won't be pleasant. So this isn't a meal that you start doing and then walk away from. Make sure you're prepared. Oh, see? Crap. Okay. Throw your vegetables in. Let them become unfrozen. And the sesame oil. Okay, got our garlic in there. Throw some garlic in the rice real quick. It's already established in garlic. Might not even be on the recipe. This is impromptu live stuff. This is what happens. It's just one of those things. I've made it so many times, and so it should be in there. It's not. And you will not have to worry about vampires. Okay. Vegetables are gonna cook. Now your pan might be starting to dry out over here, so keep an eye on that. Turn up your heat a little bit. We're gonna try to do this both at the same time, so be prepared. Okay, my rice is done. See, told you rice cooker's where it's at. 29 minutes later, give or take, and I have rice that's cooked perfect and not stuck to the pan or anything that can go wrong with rice. This probably happened to me. All right, your vegetables over here, nice stir. I'm gonna go ahead and add our sauce in here. Some of that cornstarch, sugar might be on the bottom, so make sure you don't forget it. Once again, deliciousness. I'll let that slowly start to warm up because remember the cornstarch is in there, so once it gets hot, we're going to thicken up and we're going to be ready to go. So I'm going to bump up my heat to 5, my favorite number to cook with. Okay, so you should be smelling the garlic. Fresh garlic. It's the best. Truly the best. So your vegetables should no longer be frozen. Everything should be cooked through. Now the tricky part, grab your rice. In the rice cooker, I forget to do this without almost burning myself every time. Okay, so you got your rice from the rice cooker. Dump it in. We're going to mix it in there. Yeah. Okay. Now you're going to take your soy sauce. Let me give you the exact measurement because I don't remember what it is because I just eyeball it now. Fried rice. 1/4 cup of soy sauce. As you see, I just cooked the rice nicely. So as you're mixing it through, that white rice should be nice and that soy sauce beautifully. Look at that. Okay, you're going to scooch your rice over here to the side. Throw a little bit more sesame oil in. You're going to dump in your eggs. Now, over here, starting to thicken up. Your heat's turning up. Look at that. So we are going to add in our chicken. Let everything just get to know each other. Hang out. Delicious friends, look at you. Oh, delicious. Okay. Scramble those eggs in the pan. That rice underneath there. This is where messes happen, but you know what? It's part of it, right? Okay, once your eggs have starting to get some consistency, you can just go ahead and mix them into the whole shebang here. The power of that hot rice will help cook it. Now you see why we use a non-stick pan. Okay. Look at that. You have fried rice. You, my friend, just made some beautiful fried rice. So we're going to dump this off the heat because it doesn't need to be on the heat anymore. It is cooked. We are going to look at this beautifulness here. Look at that. Oh, you can see that beautifully. Look at this. You, my friend, have also made chicken and broccoli. Turn that off. Grab yourself a little sesame seeds if you have them. You can do this now or on the plate. A little sesame seed action. Go ahead and take this off the heat because it too is done. Dinner is served. We have made a delicious chicken and broccoli from scratch and fried rice. Congratulations, my friends. You guys are rock stars. I can't wait to hear what you think.